there was a night. That changed everything. I don't talk about this often. Actually, I've never told this story publicly before. But if you're watching this right now and you're in that dark place, that place where you've run out of reasons to keep going, where the pain of staying feels heavier than the fear of leaving, you need to hear what happened to me that night. I was ready to give up, not on a dream, not on a goal, on everything, on life itself. And then something happened that I still can't fully explain. This is God's turning point, and this is the story of mine. Before we go deeper, I need to know I'm not alone here. Comment below if you've ever been in a place so dark you didn't think you'd make it out. You're not alone. And your story matters. Let me take you back. Not to that night yet, but to the months leading up to it. On the outside, my life looked fine. Maybe not perfect, but functional. I had a job. I had people around me. I was surviving. But inside, I was dying. Have you ever felt that? Where you're going through the motions, but there's this emptiness that's growing. This void that nothing can fill. I tried everything to fill it. Relationships, work, distractions, anything to not feel what I was feeling. But here's what I didn't understand then. I wasn't breaking down. I was being broken open. The signs were everywhere. I just didn't know how to read them. I kept having this recurring dream. I was drowning, but instead of fighting to reach the surface, I was just letting go, sinking. And there was this strange peace in it. I'd wake up in cold sweats, but part of me wanted to go back to that dream. My prayers changed. They went from asking for things to just asking for it to stop. The pain, the confusion, the feeling of being completely lost in my own life. I stopped answering calls, stopped showing up, stopped pretending. And people noticed. Of course they noticed. Are you okay? You seem different. What's wrong? And I'd lie. I'm fine, just tired, just stressed. But I wasn't fine. I was disappearing. The person I had been was dying, and I didn't know that a new version was trying to be born. All I knew was the pain, the exhaustion, the feeling that I had failed at being me. Drop a fire in the comments if you've ever felt like the person you were is dying, but you don't know who you're becoming. And then came that night, October 17th. I remember because it was a Tuesday, I remember thinking, even the day of the week is ordinary, nothing special, just another Tuesday. I had made a decision, not impulsively. It was calculated, calm even, which scared me more than anything. I wrote letters, actual handwritten letters to people I loved, apologizing, explaining, trying to make them understand. I sat in my apartment, lights off, just me in the silence, and I prayed one last time. But this prayer was different. I didn't ask for help. I didn't ask for a sign. I didn't ask for anything. I just said, if there's a reason I'm supposed to stay, I can't see it. I've tried. I can't do this anymore. If you're real, I need you to show me, because I have nothing left. And then I waited. For what? I didn't know. Maybe peace, maybe permission, maybe nothing. What happened next? I still struggle to put into words. It was around 2 a.m. The world was silent. Just me, the darkness, and that prayer hanging in the air. And then my phone rang. I almost didn't answer. Actually, I wasn't going to. Who calls at 2 a.m.? But something made me look at the screen. Unknown number. I stared at it, ring after ring. And for some reason I still can't explain, I answered, "Hello." Silence on the other end, just breathing. "Hello," I said again. And then a voice, small, shaking. I don't know why I'm calling you. I found your number in my mom's phone. I needed to talk to someone. It was a kid. Couldn't have been more than 13, 14 years old. "Are you okay?" I asked, and the irony wasn't lost on me. Here I was, asking someone else if they were okay. I think I want to hurt myself," the voice said. And something shifted in me. Instantly, all of my own pain, my own plans, my own darkness. It vanished, not permanently, but in that moment, it didn't matter. "Listen to me," I said. "I need you to stay on the phone with me. Can you do that?" We talked for 3 hours. 3 hours. This kid poured out their story. Bullying, family problems, feeling invisible, feeling worthless. And I listened, really listened. And I shared. Not everything, but enough. I told them, "I know it feels like you're alone. I know it feels like the pain will never end. But you reaching out tonight, that took more courage than you know. And that courage, That's proof you're stronger than you think. By 5 a.m., this kid had calmed down. We made a plan. Call a counselor, talk to a trusted adult, stay connected. Before hanging up, they said something I'll never forget. "Thank you for answering. I almost didn't call. I thought, what's the point? But you answered. And now I think maybe I'm supposed to be here." I sat there after we hung up. The sun was starting to rise. Light was coming through my window. And I looked at those letters I had written, the ones saying goodbye. And I started crying, not sad tears. Something else, something I couldn't name. If this is hitting you right now, type "I'm here" in the comments. Someone needs to know they're not alone. Because here's what hit me in that moment. That kid called me by accident. Wrong number. Random chance. Or was it? What are the odds that on the night I was ready to give up, someone who needed to hear they shouldn't give up called me? I had prayed for a reason to stay, and God sent me. A reason, not in the way I expected, not in some miraculous sign or angelic voice, but in a kid. A scared, hurting kid who needed to know someone cared. And by saving them, something in me got saved too. That night didn't fix everything. It wasn't a magic cure. The depression didn't disappear. The pain didn't vanish. But something fundamental shifted. I realized my pain had a purpose. My survival wasn't just for me. That night was my turning point. The moment everything changed. Not because my circumstances changed, but because I did. In the days and weeks that followed, I started paying attention differently. I started seeing patterns I had missed. That phone call wasn't the only coincidence. Once I started looking, they were everywhere. The friend who texted out of nowhere asking if I was okay. The song that played in the coffee shop with lyrics that spoke directly to what I was feeling. The stranger who smiled at me in the grocery store on a day I felt invisible. What if none of it was random? What if God had been reaching out the whole time and I just wasn't in a place to see it? See, here's what I learned about turning points. They rarely look the way you expect. We want the burning bush, the parted sea, the voice from heaven. But sometimes it's a wrong number at 2 a.m. Sometimes it's a breakdown that becomes a breakthrough. Sometimes it's the moment you're ready to give up that God shows up. Not to take the pain away, but to show you it has meaning. What if your pain isn't punishment, but preparation? What if you're being broken open, not broken down? I started going to therapy, actually showing up to it, being honest in it. I started journaling, writing out the thoughts that were eating me alive. I reconnected with that kid. We stayed in touch, watched them grow, heal, find their way. And every time I felt myself slipping back into that darkness, I'd remember someone needed me to answer, which means maybe I'm needed. Maybe my story isn't over, but I also had to face something hard. The person I was before that night, they're gone. That version of me died. And I had to grieve that. Grieve the loss of who I thought I was supposed to be. The plans that fell apart. The dreams that didn't happen. The life that looked one way and became something completely different. That's part of the turning point too. The death, the ending. Because you can't become who you're meant to be while still clinging to who you were. Comment below. What version of yourself had to die for you to transform? Share your story. Someone needs to hear it. And slowly, a new version emerged. Someone more compassionate, more present, more aware. Someone who understood that strength isn't about never breaking. It's about breaking and choosing to rebuild. Someone who knew that rock bottom isn't the end. It's the foundation. That night didn't just save my life. It gave me a new one. Now, here's why I'm telling you this story, because if you're watching this, you might be in your own turning point right now, and you might not even realize it. So let me share the signs, the patterns I've seen in my story and in countless others who've been through this. Everything is falling apart at once. Job, relationships, health, faith, all crumbling. That's not bad luck. That's demolition before reconstruction. God doesn't renovate, he rebuilds. And rebuilding requires tearing down what's not meant to stand. You feel completely alone, even in rooms full of people. Even with support, there's this isolation you can't shake. That's not abandonment, that's the wilderness. Jesus went there, Moses went there. Every transformation requires time alone with God, away from the noise. Nothing that used to work works anymore. Your old coping mechanisms fail. Your usual distractions don't distract. Your old identity doesn't fit. That's not failure, that's evolution. You're outgrowing the old skin. It's uncomfortable because you're not meant to stay there. You're exhausted beyond reason. Not just physically, spiritually, emotionally, soul tired. That's not weakness. That's transformation fatigue. Becoming someone new is exhausting. You're literally rewiring your entire being. Synchronicities and coincidences increase, wrong numbers, unexpected encounters, messages that hit at the perfect time. That's not random. That's God speaking the language you can hear. Pay attention. The universe is trying to guide you. How many of these signs are you experiencing right now? Comment the number. Let's see who's in their turning point. Here's what I want you to understand. If you're in the darkness right now, you're not being punished. You're being prepared. That night when I was ready to give up, that was the night I was ready to give up the old version. I just didn't know it yet. The pain you're feeling, it's the labor pains of your new self being born. And yes, it hurts. God, it hurts. But you're not dying. You're transforming. And on the other side of this, there's a version of you that you can't even imagine yet. Stronger, clearer, more aligned with your true purpose. But you have to stay. You have to see it through. Everyone who's made it through their dark night, comment what you'd tell someone who's still in it. And let's build a community of warriors who survived. That kid who called me, they're in college now, thriving, living their purpose. And they told me recently, that night saved both of us, didn't it? And they're right. My turning point wasn't just about me. It was about everyone my transformed self would touch. And yours isn't just about you either. Someone out there needs the version of you that's being forged in this fire. Don't give up before you meet them. Don't give up before you meet yourself. If you're in your turning point right now, hear me. You are not alone. This pain has a purpose. Your story is not over. That night, I thought I was at the end, but I was actually at the beginning of understanding who I really am, what I'm really here for. And if you're in that moment right now, the moment where you're ready to give up, I'm asking you to do what that kid did. Reach out, call someone, text someone, comment below, do anything except give up. Because your turning point might be tonight, it might be tomorrow, it might be a month from now, but it's coming. And the world needs you to stay long enough to see it. Subscribe to God's Turning Point if you're ready to embrace your transformation, not run from it. This is a community for people who are becoming, not pretending. Share this video with someone who's in their dark night. They need to know they're not alone. And comment below whether you're in the darkness now or you've made it through. Your voice matters here. That night changed everything. Not because the pain stopped, but because I finally understood what it was for. This is God's turning point, and yours is closer than you think.